Fish down here for a couple minutes. Got a little bit of time. Bluegill red here. There's one right there. Right there. Nice little bluegill. Nice little guy. Skadoosh. Got some really windy weather, being blocked by these spodock, which is kind of nice. Just gonna take our time and fish for a minute. We've got just a minute here to do a little fishing. Got the trout, good old trout magnet on, which I really like to fish with. Trout magnet's a lot of fun. Ultralight, 3-pound test line. And so they're just a lot of fun to fish with. Looks like that was a little hit, but I don't know. Ooh, it's come off of those rocks. Pro cast right there. You saw it right there. Pro cast is what I call that. We're just kind of working it off the shoreline there. Fish on. Fish on. Ooh, a little nicer one it looks like. Oh yeah. He's got my poor little drag. Look at this boy. Oh. Yeah. A little nicer one. Oh, there we go. Look at this guy. Yeah. Nice little bluegill. Colors on these guys are the turquoise. Wow, he's got this thing embedded. Come on, big guy. Give it up. Give it up. There you go. Look at that boy. Look at that guy. Turquoise colors. Big old blue ear tag. Very nice. Let's just see how many we can pull out of here. Oh, they're up in there. They certainly are. Might be up there and making some beds or along those rocks. They're definitely up in there. Oh, there's another hit right there. Definitely hitting it. Let it drop down, give a little movement. Alright, just kind of giving my trout magnet just a little movement there as I come across. They definitely are hitting it. Let's see. They're liking what they're seeing. Let's sink down a little. Just kind of use my fingers to give a little action. Looks like a little bug coming across there. bring it across. Of course, I got the Ultralight. I think it's 5.5 foot Eagle Claw, 3-pound test line. Got my Lews Reel, and hopefully got a workable drag. Found a few bluegill. Let's cross over and see on this side. Oops, not the best cast. Let's see if someone's paying attention. I usually like to go right up against that bank and pull out. Just kind of work it off that bank. Now the wind is pretty stiff, but we might get able to work it a little bit. There's fish right there. Keelan got it. It came up, saw it, and grabbed it. We're not catching monsters, but that's okay, because we just got a little time. We just got a little time to kill, and I just worked that trout magnet just slowly. And if there's a fish, they'll come up and they'll hit it like you've seen. I just give a little action with the end of my rod just by using my fingertip. Ooh, nice fish right there. Another nice little guy. Trout magnet. Guys are alive today. They're doing good. Ooh, I had a hit right there, just right off the top, right off the bat. There's fish. Fish on. Fish on. Oh, nice. Not a bad one either. Guy's a little bigger. They keep growing. I'm gonna like that. Look at that. Look at that guy. I'd say they're kind of on fire today. Fish on. Look at that right there. Even before it hit the ground. Fish on right there. Getting right up and got it. Oh, beautiful. They're getting fatter. They're getting fatter. They're getting fatter. We're just taking our time. Sometimes I don't even reel it. I just let it kind of drop. Right there's fish. A lot of these guys in here today. Looks like my reel's gonna need a little oil on it. Look at that. These guys are on fire today. And we drop right in by that rock. Look at that. Now I'm gonna lose my jig. So that's the way it goes. I'll tie another. All right, we're gonna keep going here just to see how many I can catch. Coming back with the chartreuse color. Just gonna work it. These guys are pretty active today. They're coming up and hitting. And we are, there's the bite. They're working with some wind here from the west, so we're having to just kind of work it. Fish on. Ooh, I like these. Oh, look at that. That was a nice one. There you go. Look at that. Kind of getting bigger. Kind of getting bigger as we move along. Look at that guy. Look at that boy. Look at that guy. Probably 5 inches. 6 inches. Nice little kerplunk. I'm going to cast out in the middle here and see if we can't get a big one. See if we can't raise something up that's kind of large. It seems like the bigger ones are kind of hitting a little towards the middle. Maybe just a little down deep, so they may just be up here. We got a really warm front coming in tomorrow, triple digits. Today the high is 82, which doesn't make sense. It's beautiful today, but tomorrow it's supposed to be like 102, then 105. It's supposed to really get warm. So we're just letting this guy kind of do its thing, this trout magnet. One thing about it, the bluegill are definitely up in here. And again, I'm not catching giants, but I'm catching a lot of fun, I'll tell you that right now. I don't have to catch a giant to have fun. There we go. There we go. Man, pound for pound, these guys are fighters. Fight machine. Look at the colors on this one. Look at this. You get those turquoise. You get, it's got peeing all over me. It's all right. Look at that. You get the coppers. You get the copper colors, the sunfish. Beautiful. Now, if you'll notice, I'm taking the fish slime and I'm actually applying it to my trout magnet because it just gives it a natural scent. So I don't have any issue having to put any extra scent on it because I can just use the scent of the bluegill. We'll just see how many we can catch out of here. I mean, that was, I don't know what number that was. That was number fun. Just kind of bringing it through. Just kind of letting it settle. Using the 1/64 ounce jig head, by the way. Really tiny jig head, which means the sink rate's just really slow, and that's probably helping my bite ratio too. Oh, there was a bite right there. Having that slow ratio on that sink is probably nice. So there was a fish. Again, if you just watch the movements, just giving a little movement to provide a buggish, I guess, natural movement out there. And all I'm doing is just moving my finger just a little bit. See how I'm moving my hand right there? And it's just providing that, and you can see how it's attracting those bluegill because they're coming up and they're hitting it. I'm sure I could just do it with no movement at all and give it a bump and they might come back up and hit it. I don't know, maybe we caught them all out of here. You think we caught them all out of here? I kind of doubt it, because we've been hitting them pretty. That's with no bait. This is just a trout magnet. Let it sink down a little bit. fish up towards the back of the boat. See, now for any of you that have fished around docks, you know that there's a bar that runs underneath behind each of these. That's the way most docks are, either a bar or a chain keeps them together down below. So just give you a heads up, it's easy to get a little hung up on those things. Alright, no hits there, no hit wonder. I'll bring it out just a little bit, let it drop down outside that bar. We'll let it sink kind of down towards the bottom. Kind of find out where these guys are at. See if we can hit one of those shell crackers, a pound, pound and a half. That's what I'm talking about. Let's let that sink down and give it a pop. I'm like, hey, we're getting used to this thing, so we're not going to hit it. Too many of our friends are disappearing suddenly. Alright, let's go try this set over here. There's a bump. There's a little bump. Bumps. They were bumping it. Might have been a little small, maybe. I don't know. That wind's kind of picking. There we go. Fish on. Fish on. Fish on. See, bluegill are always going to hang around structure, typically rocks, trees. Now when they go to spawn, they'll spawn in sandy areas. They'll build their spawning beds. Let that sink a little bit. Just kind of casting it toward the rock, just kind of bringing it back. That's kind kind of cast it up underneath here a little bit. Let's see what's up underneath the bridge. Sometimes big old bass up underneath these things. And sometimes bass, they do get interested in smaller, you know, smaller species, smaller bugs, and all types of things. I just had a hit right there. It came out of nowhere. I just popped it. Yeah, definitely liking this movement of this thing with this little wiggle. All right, one more cast in the general area. Right off the rock. Look at that. That looks fishy. That looks kind of fishy. You know, I'm fishing with this ultralight, with this, you know, 1/64 ounce jig, so you know it might do better if I added a sinker to it, you know, a little split shot, because it would get them down, you know, to where they're at. So we've had fun here for what, 30 minutes or so. 30 minutes of fishing. Been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. We got that bite window just right. Looks like the tide's kind of going out a little bit. We don't want to pull it too fast. Just kind of work it. What we'll do here in a minute, we'll change locations, try another spot. The other thing we could do too is we can add a little crappie nibble to it. Let's add a little crappie nibble, see what we got. So there is a crappie nibble. Let's dip it. I always dip it in the water if I can, just to give it a little more strength around my hook. So let's see what the crappie nibble produces. And if not, we'll move a little bit, but I think we're going to see here. Fish on, look at that. Crappie nibble coming through. Look at that big guy. Nice. Look at that. Now this is a red ear. This is the first red ear I've caught. Everything else has been bluegills. But look at this. Nice red ear. See the red on its ear? Nice little red ear. So let's go back with the crappie nibble again. We've been catching the bluegill species. They're all blue. They're all brim and they're all panfish. But I might cast this out in the middle. Let's just let it sink down. Let's just see if there's a big old mama red ear sitting down there. So let's just cast it out. We're gonna let that sink down. We're just gonna give it some wobble. See if we can't pick anything up out of the middle out here. Just kind of take our time. We didn't cast it that far because of the wind. They all might be up there near the shoreline. And again, when the tide's coming in or out, those guys are up there, just like bass, feeding off of crustaceans and bugs and you know, whatever else is up there. They're all feeding off of them. back into us. I don't let it sink too much along that shoreline because I don't want it to get all mossy. There's a bite. Something probably grabbed my, I have a feeling probably grabbed my crappie nibble off. Let's change spots. Alright. I'm coming down here to fish one of my secret crappie locations, but I don't know if there'll be any crappie here or not. We'll see. The water is super clear. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the water is really nice and clear. But right now it's low tide, so I don't think I'll get any. I saw a little bass chasing. I see some bass right there. Right there. They're hitting it, but they're all pretty. And they're all kind of in the smaller category, but it is fun to watch. Not sure if you can see it or not. Right there, bam! Look at that. Let them come up and hit it. See that action? Look at that. I saw him come up and take it. That was cool. Let's see if there's another one in there. If you can see, I'm just bouncing it over the grass that's in there, just slowly bouncing, giving it a movement. There's another bump. They're following it. Oh shoot! What happened there? I think I'm gonna have to go tie another lure. We can kind of see what's lurking out here. See if there's anything that will hit. That wind's kind of hard to manage, though, as you can see. The wind's a little more difficult when you're fishing into it. Especially with the light line that we're using, you know. You can't see how it pulls. It just pulls it too fast. It's way too fast. We're gonna go back in, kind of see what we can coax out of here. It's fun because the water's so clear. You can actually watch them come up and just hit it. I mean, just hit it. I wish I could get my GoPro down there in the water. Yeah, it's windy. There's one. Well, that's a good cast right there. But that wind is just so strong. So strong. Just lightly working it. Oh, that was a nice one. That was a nice one on it. Nicer than what I thought. Let's just do a pro bounce off the deck there into the water. Let it sink. We'll get some attention somewhere. Just come up out of they come up out of the grass from nowhere and they go right back down into it. Now let's change the game. Let's put a little crappie magnet on there. Crappie nibble, sorry, not a crappie magnet. I got a trout magnet on, but let's put a crappie magnet on there. Let's see if this changes the game at all. I think it will, most likely. kind of watch the behavior, how they operate. Ooh, right there's a hit, a big hit. Take it down. Big hit, but I kept my crappie magnet on. Let's come off the dock just a little bit. Right there, good spot. You can see him out there kind of knocking it sideways. Well, he took the crappie magnet off, of course. Ooh, that was a nice one. So those bluegill and red ear, man, they just sit right up in those rocks. I mean, like right on the shoreline, just look. They sit right up in there and look for food. When food comes at them, they'll come out and they'll hit. Fish on. Fish on right there. Fish on. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah. Look at that. Nice looking sunfish. Beautiful. I'm gonna rub his slime coated on my jig. Let's go back down and see if we can't find another one over there that size. Yeah, we're just kind of coming through the trees a little bit. There's definitely plenty of them in there. Now, if I didn't have this dock right here with these big boats sitting here, there's just no way I could fish this, because my 3.5 pound test line would not be any competition for that 25-mile-an-hour wind. Just making that flutter. It's just getting all kinds of good attention. Let's go try off the. We're a little more out of the maybe the way of the wind here. Again, we're at low tide, so this guy's, you know, there's not much distance between the grass and the water level. There was one come up out of the depth and hit. Just give it a little wiggle. It's a great thing about this ultralight, you can really work the lure with the tip, because it's just so easy. It just moves so smoothly. And I'm just giving my hand just a little wiggle to make that ultralight work. That trout magnet just dance in the water. Fish on. Fish on. Fish on. Here's the thing. I'm not looking for trophies. I'm not looking for giant fish. I just got an hour or so to kill before I go do some business. And I'm just out kind of having some fun and getting a little therapy. Ooh, right there's one. Ooh, big guy got it right there. Didn't even let it get down. Just took it. Said, all right, I want it. Oh, let's get him back in the water. And get that guy back in the water. He'll come to in a second. Fish on. Right there. Oh, little guy. Little one. And again, they just come up out of the grass. So you just kind of bring it through the grass. They're just going to come up out of that grass and they're going to hit it. fish was a little stunned earlier. Now he's taken off. He's got his wits back about him, so now he's swimming back to the deep all nice and happy. Let's go out here just a little more and see if we can't get a little. We're certainly not getting any big ones today. We are not having fun. How's that sound? We're having a good time out here. Now it may be that I bring a little spinner out too. I might try my little spinner just to see. I think I had it in his mouth. Sometimes they put it in their mouth and then they'll just release it and they'll let it go. Oh, one guy just knocked it good. I'm gonna double check my. I saw one guy just come up and hit it. Nicer one actually. Let that kind of sink down a little bit. That wind's kind of. Wind makes it just a little more tighter. Other thing about the wind sometimes too, especially if you're fishing light line, it makes it a little more difficult to detect a bite, because you know, if you don't have the wind, look at that, it's just dragging. So let's do this. Let's up our game a little bit. Let's put a bobber on. Put a bobber on, and we'll do a crappie nibble here. Alright, let's just cast it out. Cast a little farther with a bobber, which is nice. Let's see what we can do. Now, the bobber doesn't have much weight on it, so the only way it's going to stand up is if a fish gets on it. Go out there. Let's see what's out there. There's not enough weight on that bobber to make it stand. But if a fish hits that jig, it'll not only stand up, it'll just disappear in the water and be gone. We're just kind of dancing it over. Sometimes too, the water movement can also cause that jig to move up and down, which is nice. Right there you go. Well, thought it was going to stand up for a second. Good spot right there. Let's see if we can't garnish a bite over there. So far, nothing. There you go, right there. See that bobber stand up? Fish was hitting on it. Bobber's working the bait all by itself, but may not be garnering enough attention as my bouncing the bait myself. It's a good spot. Maybe I'll just work the bait. So the bobber is not really working like it was when I was casting out and then just working the bait. Probably because I'm able to give the bait more action. Most likely than the bobber. But the wind is not our friend today. If I can get down just a little bit lower, maybe I can cast out. Well, let's just see. Right there. Oh, had a fish. I think it's because that bobber is just not providing enough action, probably. The way these guys like it. They like that tail to move. That sink down like it's sinking. We're just going to give it a little action here because there's a lot of bluegill in here. A lot of bluegill. Fish on. Right there's one. A little nicer one too. Look at that. Right in the rocks. This is a good one. More. Oh, nice one. This is more. Yeah, this one here. This is a good one right here. That's what I'm looking for. Look at that. Big, you see there, big red here, almost lipping. That's kind of what we're looking for right there. This big boy, up in the rocks, probably 7-8 inches, nice and fat. Be a good fillet. You get 10 of those guys, you'll be doing well. So that's kind of the, that's kind of the kind where I'm looking for. And they're just up in the, just fishing right up in the grass where they live. Just kind of bringing it through, like a bait would, like a little crustacean would swim through, or a bug would swim through. Yeah, that was a good one. You get 5-10 of those, for me and my wife, that's a meal. That's a good meal. Again, we're just working it through. If we can, if the wind doesn't pick it up, I can work it through the grass. But that wind sometimes is it's a no-win-win situation. A no-win situation, as the country folk would say. I just want to work that slow. I don't want to work it fast, because I want it to drop down in those crevices. I want it to come through that grass. You know, and there's another one, just hit it. Now, again, you can see, you know, I've been catching a bunch of small ones, but those big ones are down in there. Don't get fooled. They're there. You just gotta come across, and gotta bring the lure across them. They're gonna come up. They're gonna hit. All right, a couple more casts. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. Then we're gonna call it. Fish on. Little guy though. Little. Look at that. You get the big ones, you get the little ones. Either way, they're fun to catch. Bass bait right there, boy. I can see some really nice outcroppings of some rocks where there'd be fish. Just work it slow. Try not to let that wind grab it. What the wind does is the wind just pulls it. I mean, you know, trying to stay in the strike zone. Fish on. Fish on. Whoa, come on, big guy. Right into that wind. I think that wind might have us call it a day, possibly. I think that's where kind of where we're at. If you cast into the wind, sometimes if it's, you know, if it's not super strong, you have a better chance of controlling that speed. You know, you can work with it at least. There we go. I'll let it sink down. It's just kind of working. Whoa, they're hitting. That's the thing about it.